This is episode 47 of the Out of the Minds podcast. I'm Sean Oakley.
And I'm Sam Cooper, and we have round 2 of Kyber. After round 3 has been drawn, but we're catching up eventually.
Yes, so this is your round 2 match from Kyber, Sam.
Yeah. And spoiler alert, I think this one's quite a good one.
Cool. I don't know what the scenario is, because unfortunately I was unable to play my round 2.
It was Scramble the Transmissions.
Uh-huh. Oh, and I see some scum at the top.
Yeah, we've got Scum versus Separatist. Let me pull up my opponent's list. We can just about see it on the camera here, but there's lots of upgrades, so I'm going to go ahead and look up his list. I should have done this before, but hey, what ho.
That's what editing's for?
That's what editing is for, yep. Travis Johansson list. Do. Come on, tabletop.to. This awkward silence is a little awkward. Give me the list. Okay, there we go. We got the list. Okay, so I'll start with my list. It's the exact same as last week's. I've got Pre-Vizsla in the Gauntlet, General Grievous in the Belbelub, and 4 Trade Federation drones. I've got Zam and Trickshot and Cononets on Pre-Vizsla, and Grievous has the usual bevy of Grievous upgrades: Solar Swan, Impervium Plating, Outmaneuver, and Shield upgrade. And my opponent is running Scum and Villainy, and he's got Gamut Key in the Hawk Light Freighter with Elusive and Protectorate Gleb, Palob Gadali with in the Hawk 290 Light Freighter with Notorious, Lando Calrissian crew, Overtuned Modulators, and Moldy Crow. Manaroo in the Jumpmaster, because of every Scum list has Manaroo for some bizarre reason, with Expert Handling, Overtuned Modulators, Punishing 1, and R5P8. And then finally, the Mandalorian in the ST-70 Assault Ship with Cutthroat, Duke, The Child, Fen Rao crew, Hotshot Tail Blaster, Mandalorian Optics, and the Razor Crest title, under which he has hidden a illicit card. But if anyone's been keeping up with X-Wing recently, you probably know which card he's got hidden. I guessed, and he didn't reveal it until he used it. But I also just knew, because I don't see Contraband Cybernetics on his list, so I'm guessing Contraband Cybernetics is under the card.
Which is funnily, although, as has pointed out to me, I did technically cheat in my first round by putting a limited card under the Razor Crest title. Contraband is my stapled one, because everyone knows it's going to be there anyway, so you might as well have that one, I suppose, on show.
And so the funny thing is, actually, with the Child, this is the first time I've faced the Child, and he gives is like Merciless Hunter condition or whatever. So I can make Merciless Pursuit. I can give 2 of my ships that card, and then whenever they attack the ship with the Child on, after the attack is resolved, they can get a target lock. And I put it on Pre-Vizsla and General Grievous, and it basically never came up.
Interestingly, I flew against the Child for the first time at the Kirton event at the weekend, and I think it came up once.
I think it comes up once in this game, but it doesn't matter, and you'll see why shortly. But I will start playing the thing on good old 8 times speed as we start rolling through this. We start setting up. I have priority for the first one, and I drop my objective as far down in the center of the
Okay, sorry about that.
All right, so on to objective placing. I have priority, so I place my first objective as far back towards my center of the board and in the dead center. It's like almost in my deployment zone.
Yeah.
Then my opponent places his one on his side, about 2 and 2, just over 2 and 2, from the center towards his corner, basically blocking off an entire corner where I can place mine. And then I sling my second objective basically as far to the right as I can and as far down towards the center of the board as I can. So I've got two objectives that are as far away as they can be from each other, and my opponent has placed two objectives, so they make a triangle with the center one. Because my thinking with this is a vulture droid spending an action to take a point is absolutely fine, and I don't mind spending vulture actions because I think they're less valuable than any of his ship's actions. So if I can have them as far away as possible, spend a turn or two pinging an objective and then leaving, he has to go out of his way to come get them.
Yeah.
And it'll cost him more. At least that was my thinking. But there is just this basically there's a triangle toward the center left of the board, and then there are two objectives essentially at the 3 o'clock and the 6 o'clock as far out as they can go. So we get to rocks, and I will just fast forward on the video till the end of the rock placement. So because we basically all place our own rocks, and we get an interesting layout.
Yeah, that is.
So, I've brought 3 big rocks, and I believe my opponent has brought 2 debris and a big rock. I can never remember what the new
They're
new
both
Mando packs. They're both debris, aren't they?
Yeah.
Never remember what the Mando ones looks like.
The asteroid ones have a very, very purple tinge.
Yeah. And essentially, I place one big rock. No, sorry. I believe I placed my opponent's debris just in front of my rearmost objective, the one closest to my thing. So the idea is I can just park a droid on it, ping the objective, and then leave. Then I spend my next one putting a finger rock next to another objective, so I can sit a droid on it and leave. And my opponent, interestingly, scatters all of the obstacles that he can put down as close as he can on the far left-hand side of the board, basically clearing the way for that triangle, because he wants to. He told me later he was trying to control the triangle of objectives that are close together, because he has a bunch of big ships, so he can easily get them. And if he just clusters all the other rocks on the other side, it makes it awkward to fight over those far objectives, and they're worth less points than the cluster in the middle. And I'm also kind of fine with that, because I have a big ship that is fine to rumble, and my droids don't care.
Yeah.
Whether they're going into rocks or not. So we essentially have most of our obstacles on the right-hand side, slowly basically in a trail coming from my end of the board to the opponent's end of the board. It's almost like a lopsided smile. Like,
yeah,
we got 2 eyes and a bit of a weird smile going on. But it comes to deployment. And I start placing vulture droids. So I place one vulture droid on the far right. He's going to jet up the board and take that objective. One vulture droid in the middle, who's going to take my close objective, and then 2 vulture droids towards the left, who want to advance to take the left one. And I put my gauntlet in between the 2 groups of vulture droids on the left. So he's just going to go up and presumably face off against my opponents whenever he comes up. But I'm lining up to take 3 objectives. My opponent.
This is interesting. He set up Manaru slightly left of center.
Yes.
Which means he's probably going to need to turn right at some point.
Yes. So Manaru is set up just right of center, just around. So he can go straight down towards the center and curve around a big rock and be in the center of the board. I believe that is Paylob just to the next of him, turret pointing towards Manaru, and then the Razor Crest and Gamut are to their right, heading down towards the triangle directly opposite Vizsla and 2 of my droids. I place General Grievous on the far right with the Vulture droid who's going to go after the point, because I just want him to try and outflank. And the idea is, at least for me, was if Manaru does, for some reason, decide to come and face off against my Vulture droid, because the Vulture droid is an easy kill, Grievous is there to back him up, and I think Grievous can take Manaru.
Yeah.
Let's go. Also, for anyone watching the YouTube, my opponent gave me some beautiful alt arts of the Zam cards, and they are mine now.
I did clock those down there.
Yeah. They're from Princess Bride, which is really cool. And we get going. So I will let the video go until the end, the end of movement on the first turn. But I'll try and explain. So what I'm thinking is, I literally just want to grab 3 objectives as quick as possible. I've got 2 that I can definitely grab this round, just by moving forwards. Unfortunately, my Vulture Droid who wanted to land on a rock misses it.
Ouch.
My Vulture Droid aims for a rock 4 straight, 1 millimeter short.
I'm a little. Oh, I'm a little. Have they got a 1 straight?
The Vulture Droids, no.
Yeah. I'm a little surprised you didn't barrel roll out the way then.
Well, he's the one because I'd already moved the other one, and he's the one I took the objective with.
Yeah, no, see, I get that, but
Yeah.
honestly, I think not taking the objective and then not going over a rock and you're gonna suffer the damage.
So here's the thing, Sean. Oh, ye of little faith.
Pre
Vizsla has a coordinate.
All right, fair enough.
But the other Vulture Droid on the far right jets forward 5 straight. Just he's setting up either a 3 hard or a 2 bank to get the far right objective. And then Vizsla does a 2 straight and coordinates the droid who's about to go over a rock. Does a barrel roll. I don't link it to a calculate because I don't think anything's going to be shooting. And if you can tell by the tone of my voice that was a foolish move, you will be unsurprised to hear what's happened in a sec. But we'll move on to the rest. There's some shenanigans happening. Manaru goes fast down the middle, but is just out of range of the center objective to claim it, which is the reason I placed that rock where I did. It's beyond range 1 of the center objective, and the idea is it's very hard to go fast enough to be close to the objective and also not on that rock.
Yeah.
Pretty much Vulture Droids can do it, and that's about it. Or, Jedi can do it, I guess, because they can just go fast and boost.
Yeah.
Paylob banks around that center objective towards the center asteroid, heading towards Vizsla and my 2 droids. Gamut Key does a straight maneuver and coordinates the Mandalorian, a barrel roll linked into evade, which gives me a little bit of fear as to what he's about to do. But he also was saying how he somehow screwed it up. So I think with Paylob's move, he had just set himself up to get blocked. Grievous does a 5 straight and boost. He's ready to just bank in around chasing after Manaru, and the Mandalorian does a 4 straight.
Yep.
Or 3 straight. I think he's cleared his stress. I can't remember.
I believe
Are they both blue?
I believe the 4's but blue as well.
Yeah.
I believe all the straights are blue on the Razor Crest.
Yeah. And he claims his closest objective. So currently, I've got 2, he's got 1. Then we go to the shooting, and he checks range, and he has range on 2 of my Vulture Droids. And I'm thinking, oh, bugger.
Yeah, shoot the one without a calculate.
Yeah. Shoots the one without a calculate. He rolls focus hit, spends a force for 2. I roll 1 evade. He yells, Juke!
Oh, yeah.
And I take 2 damage on Vulture Droid Red.
That's good point, actually. Duke on a ship that's got an evade into a barrel roll. That's a...
Yeah, especially when you can coordinate it. But he's spent one of his non-recoverable force.
Yeah.
I check Grievous's arc, and nothing happens. Basically, it's just a Vulture Droid shooting back. I'm pretty sure they don't do a damn thing. Yeah, he rolls some natty evade. He doesn't even have to spend his token.
Oh, do you Gamut Key it then?
I can't remember if he does it or not. He does. He Gamut Keys the evade. And we're on to the next turn. I've got 2 points, he's got 1. And so here's where things get really interesting. I've got a Vulture Droid that's it is functionally dead. Should we say?
Yeah, it's got 1 health left.
Yeah. So my first thought was, all right, 5 straight, it's Blocksville.
Yeah, that was my first go-to.
But I don't.
So I'm guessing you instead turn towards the center objective and try and claim that.
I do.
Yeah.
And boy, oh boy, does it make things interesting. So I will let this play out. Essentially, so Palob's keeping a focus thanks to the Moldy Crow, and Gamut Key has let the Mando keep an evade token. Everything's pretty normal as things go. So we're over to the dials. I believe I win priority because I win priority most of the time. It doesn't really matter. I don't mind that Vizsla's going first, but Overtuned Modulators gets popped on Manaru this turn,
Okay.
which tells me he's coming in to fight.
Yeah. I mean, where he is kind of tells you that he's
Yeah.
coming in to
And
fight.
also, it tells me he's okay with pinging the center objective because
Yeah.
he's got tokens.
Yeah.
Yeah. Somehow. Yeah. So also, the Mandalorian gains a target lock on someone in his front arc from some reason. I can't remember how.
He's the one with the no, it's the other way round.
He has Fenrau. He has Mandalorian Optics. That's the one. System phase, Mandalorian Optics. He gets a target lock on the green drone, the one he hasn't shot yet.
Okay.
So I know that my drones are in trouble. So red drone, like I said, he's doing a 3 hard and he's going to ping the center objective. And if he dies, he dies. Green drone is going to be an artful dodger and is planning on 2 banking, barrel roll, calculating, because I'm pretty sure that should set me up to just not get shot by the Mando.
Yeah.
My far right drone does a 3 hard, takes the objective on the far right, and he's set up so he can just 2 straight onto a rock and be happy. And my vulture droid, who's took my home objective the first turn, stays exactly where he is and calculates, because he's likely to have a shot onto something. I mean, it's as simple as that, really.
Yeah.
Vizsla does a 2 straight, clears the stress he got from the coordinate, and reinforces the front.
Okay.
Because I think I'm about to eat a world of pain. Would you agree?
I mean, yes.
Because in my line of thinking, red drone takes 1 shot to kill. Right, let's be realistic.
Yeah. You shoot him with Mando.
I think green has dodged the Mandalorian's arc. Maybe gets shot by a hawk, but Mando's coming into Vizsla.
Oh, I think you pile at least Palob and the Mando into Vizsla.
Yeah.
Because obviously Palob's 3 out the front with the title, so.
And with Duke, I cannot rely on just rolling dice.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no, I think the reinforcers is a fair shout.
So Manaru moves to the center and takes the center objective off me, but rolls a blank. So doesn't get to take it himself. He just removes my claim.
He's got Lando on that, hasn't it? No, Lando's on Palob.
No, yes, Lando is on Palob. Lando is on Palob.
Yeah.
So this game is a tale of rolling blanks on that center objective. But either way, currently I've got 3, my opponent's got 1. And if he wants to take the center objective with one of his other 2 ships, I'm kind of fine with that because then he's not taking other actions.
Yeah.
So Palob moves in and jams my reinforce off.
Oh. It's
because
called Bullseye,
I'm in the bullseye.
Right?
I'm in the bullseye. And all of a sudden I'm thinking, I have a Zam card down. So at the very least, I'm pretty sure Vizsla's going to get a good shot this round, but I do get jammed.
Does he? Because he looks like he's picked up second focus there.
He had 1 from turn 1 and 2 from second from...
okay.
Actually, no, he took the focus off Manaru last round.
Oh, okay.
Because Manaru's got his startup engagement passive thingy. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so he jams my reinforce off. And I'm thinking, Gamut bumps into the Mando. Doesn't take any damage, but is otherwise okay. And I'm okay with that because he's now not shooting my Vulture droid in the flank, and he has not a great shot into the Mando.
Yeah.
Grievous does a 2 bank, boosts and focuses, and is behind Manaru, and is very, very happy with his current location. So the Mando, I believe, does a 1 straight. So Vizsla and Mando are staring at each other. My green Vulture droid has succeeded in that he's not getting shot by anyone, but Vizsla's in trouble.
Yeah. But I mean, he shouldn't go down this round.
He shouldn't go down this round. That is true.
So you can do
And
a nice target attack against him.
yeah, I've got a Zam card down, and it's the one that gets me target locks because why wouldn't it be at this stage?
And then you can pop his ability, can't you, for a 5 dice?
Yeah, I do throw. I do get to throw 5 dice into the Mando this turn, and it is quite nice. But we go to engagement. I believe Mando took a target lock on me as his action, and he throws dice. He gets hit crit 2 blank, spends the lock, rerolls into blank focus, and spends. He Mando's Mando ability the blank into a focus, then spends the force to make it a hit.
Nice.
So for 2 hits and a crit. I roll 1 evade, 1 focus. He jukes it.
Yep.
So I take 2 hits and a crit, and I can't exactly remember what crit it is. I don't think it mattered a great deal, though.
Fair enough.
I don't remember it mattering a great deal. Then Grievous puts a shot into Manaru, and I take 2 of the shields off. And then it's Vizsla's turn, and he goes straight into the Mando. We've got 5 dice. I roll 4 hits and a focus. I re-roll it into a hit with a target lock I got from Zam. We've got 5 hits into the Mando. He rolls 2 evades.
Okay.
So that's fine. I put 3 damage onto the Mando. He's going to get a force back because of a child, and I do get a target lock on him thanks to the Merciless Pursuit. And then basically more damage just keeps piling into Vizsla. I believe Manaru. Yeah, everyone keeps shooting to Vizsla, and then we go for the long range shot into my red drone, who lives because Gamut Key chooses to shoot the 1 health drone, which means red drone gets to shoot.
So it looks like Vizsla's taken 5 hull there.
Yeah, 5
hull. 4 left.
Yeah. And the net result of all of my shooting is I deal 1 more damage to Manaru.
That's a little unfortunate. And it looks like you've cleared all of his calculates as well.
Yeah.
So no strains.
Yeah. But that is what it is.
Well,
yeah. So this is where things are. They're still interesting. So I get 3 points for this round. Are we still? Yeah, I get 3 points. We keep talking about Fen Crew, and I'm like, okay, we'll see if we can trigger it. So he keeps checking for triggering it because it lets him remove stress, but he needs enemies at range 1, and every single time he looks at it, he either has nothing to remove or they're not at range 1 by the barest millimeter.
Yeah.
Which is amusing.
Unfortunate.
5-2 to me, but Vizsla's taken a pounding, and I haven't really done that much damage. Not really.
No. Although if you can keep focusing on the Mando, he'll burn down.
Yeah. But again, I have a simple plan. The vultures are going to acquire me objectives, and acquire objectives they shall. Red being alive is a blessing, and he will acquire me the center objective.
2 straight.
2 straight. Flip objective. So this is the interesting thing about scramble transmissions: is being low initiative is a disadvantage in that you aren't the last one to ping the objective, but sometimes just being able to move and ping the objective first makes your opponent have to make decisions that they don't normally want to make. Lots of talking on dials. My opponent finally wins priority, but it doesn't really matter. I can't remember what that token thing was about. I know Palor was keeping some tokens. So in the system phase, I drop my Coronet because I don't see a way for Vizsla to get out of this situation alive. So I know that that Manaru is likely coming down this way, so I just want to make his move a little harder.
Yeah.
So I drop my Coronet. I move my Vulture Droids. My center Vulture Droid, the guy with 1 health, he does a 2 straight and he grabs the center objective. My Vulture Droid, who dodged the Mando, does a 3 straight and grabs my opponent's objective, and I roll a focus, which means I get it. So I actually have all 5 objectives.
Cool. Just hold that out for another 3 rounds.
Yeah, and at least one of them is a little awkward for my opponent to get, especially if he hadn't prepared for me to grab his home objective because like Gamut can one straight, I guess,
Yeah.
but he might not have been prepared to have to reflip the objective. Then my far right vulture does a 2 straight, lands on the rock and calculates, and the other vulture on the rock does a 0 and calculates. Happy days. Over to my opponent's 3s. So Manaru doesn't go where I'm expecting. He turns in towards my end of the board, and he's facing down my home drone. And I believe he just focuses, or he pings the objective. Okay. No, he pings the objective, rolls a hit, and he gets it. So 4-1. Then Paylob moves 1 straight and focuses. Gamut does a 1 straight, and he coordinates the Mando, a barrel roll linked into an evade. It doesn't give the thing over there. I do a 2 straight with Grievous. And something that I forgot to mention last turn is at start of engagement, my opponent checked for Paylob's ability. And it was at this point that I realized what Paylob's ability was. Do you know what Paylob's ability is, Sean?
Does he? No, I don't want to say he steals green.
He steals focus tokens.
Yeah, I thought it was stealing.
So from this point onwards, Grievous never focuses because why bother? If you are at range 0 to 2 in his arc, I believe he can steal a focus token, not calculates, focus tokens or evade tokens. So literally at this point onwards, Grievous doesn't focus. In fact, Grievous, are you ready for this? He took a target lock.
No.
He took a target lock on Gamut Key.
No, Grievous doesn't lock.
Yeah, he takes a target lock on Gamut Key. Or do I? No, sorry, no, that's next round. I just did a barrel roll because I was like, maybe I get out of someone's arc, or I just line up the shot into Manaru. I just did a barrel roll, didn't link it. That's what I did. I know I take a target lock next turn into Gamut Key, which is kind of funny. Visitor does a 1 bank, bumps into Paylob. I think looks like I do take the red focus. Yeah, I do take the red focus, and then the Mando bumps into Gamut, Pre-Vizsla. So we got a bit of a bump train. He takes the range 0 shot into Vizsla, rolls hit, focus, crit, spends a force to make that a hit crit. I roll blank focus, spend my focus token to get 1 evade. I've taken 7 of 9 damage.
And a crit in there as well.
And a crit in there as well. I believe that is stunned pilot.
Okay.
I'm not expecting that to matter. Then we go over to Grievous, who I roll into Manaru. I get hit, crit, and something else, and I re-roll. Oh, sorry, hit, crit, and I re-roll the 2 that miss into another crit. So hit, crit into Manaru. I believe one of those is damage sensor array, and one of those is console fire. I want to say. I could be wrong. I think one of those damage sensor array he can only focus, and I can't remember what the other one. It's either loose stabilizer or console fire.
Okay. Looks like Palob's just murdered your red droid.
Yeah, Paylob does in fact murder red droid. He puts 3 more damage into him, and that droid is dead. But he did his job. He made Manaru not take a focus.
And I'm guessing it's Manaru that put 2 damage into yellow.
And Manaru puts 2 damage into yellow, which probably would have been yellow dead.
Yeah,
but it wasn't. Then we have good old Gamut Key shooting into Vizsla. Rolls hit, crit. I roll focus, evade. I roll double evade and live. I then roll 3 natural hits into Gamut Key, who rolls blank focus, spends evade to get what hit box 1 basically, and then the rest of the game is my vulture droids shooting and doing nothing, like quite literally.
Yeah, vultures do.
Yeah, there we go. It was console fire. He rolled console fire. I remembered at the end. Console fire. Okay, we go. I got two damage out of the last vulture droid, the one that barely lived. So Manaru has 1 health left.
Okay.
But I've lost a vulture droid. There we go. It's fast and furious this game is at. But it's interesting. So I get 4 points for objective, and my opponent gets 1.
So that's not massive, but it's a substantial lead you're getting now, 9-5.
Yeah, it's 9-5 to me, but Vizsla is about to give my opponent 7 points.
Yeah, but you're likely to get 4 back off Manaru.
Yeah, so this is where things get interesting. Because from this point, I'm pretty sure Manaru has to go towards my Coronet, but I don't know if he has to hit it or not. I want Grievous to go after him, but I don't want to feed Grievous to the Mando.
Yeah.
And I'm also kind of hoping that my Vulture Droid can finish off Manaru as well. Because it is only 1 damage. So it's interesting. So because I don't send Grievous after Manaru this round.
Fair enough.
Because I just don't see that I just feel like I'm going to get blocked by one of the Hawks if I bank towards Manaru. Vizsla is just trying to move so that he gets an action. I think I gamble on that my opponent moves first, basically. Because I don't really see a way out for Vizsla that doesn't involve like bumping into my own droid, really.
You could have stopped there.
I'm stressed because I took that red focus.
Don't do a stop then.
Which I needed to live.
That's fair.
Yeah. So I believe, looking at the thing, I've spent 2 charges on Zam. So I must, when Gamut Key attacked me, I spent 2 charges to attack Gamut Key, and then on my initiative, I just shot him again, dealing a net of 2 damage. Well done, Brie Vizsla.
Ouch.
Yeah. So my opponent reveals Contraband Cybernetics in system phase. So I wonder what he's going to use.
Well, yeah, exactly.
I have priority again, which means Vizsla's moving first, which means Vizsla isn't really moving.
So it looks like he's Mando Optic to lock again.
Yeah. So, my... yes, he's Mando Optic to lock onto Vizsla. So my Vulture Droids stay where they are for the moment and calculate, except the one in my home zone, he rotates 90 degrees to the left, trying to catch Manaru out when he comes around. And my far left Vulture Droid, he just pinged the home objective, does a 3 hard, lands on the rock above the center objective, and I'm pretty sure I just do the scramble action and roll dice, and I get the center one.
Nice.
5-0 to me, and my opponent now has to react. Vizsla does a 2 straight and bumps into the Gamma Key. I think I just take the red focus here because I'm just not expecting to live. So Manaru does what I believe is like a 2 or 3 bank. Yeah. Doesn't hit the debris field, goes straight past the Coronet and is perfectly safe, and he fixes his damage sensor array. So, Vulture Droid, you got a free shot into Manaru.
Yeah.
Paylob does a 1 straight, and what do you do, Paylob? Takes a focus. And he popped his own attuned modulators. Grievous does a 1 bank, hunting down Gamma Key, who also tried to do a 1 straight but bumped into Pre-Vizsla. That's what happened. So basically, Pre-Vizsla and Gamut Key are staring at each other. They both got red focuses. Grievous banks towards Gamut Key and takes a target lock onto Gamut Key, because if I take a focus, I'll just lose it.
And I assume
then we do a rollback, because my opponent realizes that he actually has so many green tokens, it doesn't matter, and asks if he can just retroactively flip the objective. And I say, yeah, that's fine.
That's fair.
Because at the time I thought it was a very weird, like he moved onto the objective and I was like, okay, he pings it, and then he just dragged a focus token over, and I was like, that's a weird choice. He's got 2 focus tokens and 3 calculators. What exactly does he need that one for? And he's likely, and if I focus, he'll likely steal my focus token. But all right. And he was like, oh, wait, hold on, that thing's not mine. Can I do that? And I was like, yeah, sure, you can have it.
I take it the Mando stops.
The Mando stopped. Flipped Contraband Cybernetics, and he flipped the objective he was sitting on over to him.
Did he take?
So 3-2.
Did he take? Oh no, it's the Mando, isn't it? Not Q9.
Yeah, it's the Mando. So he has a range 1 shot into Pre-Vizsla.
No evade token this time.
No evade token this time, so no juke. He uses Fen Rao to clear 1 of his stress.
Nice.
And he rolls 3 hits and a focus into Pre-Vizsla. I roll something that doesn't matter, and I take 1,000,000 damage and die.
Yeah, it looks like he target locked that last one into 4 hits, which I think means you couldn't survive anyway.
Yeah. So then it's Grievous into Gamut Key. I roll 2 hits and a crit out of hand. Who needs target locks? Not General Grievous. Gamut Key rolls 2 evades, or
So,
evade focus and spends his focus he got from bumping into Pre-Vizsla. So just a crit goes through, which was a fuel leak. Then he shoots back into Grievous, does nothing. Paylob shoots into my drone, who has the easy shot into Manaru and kills it.
I mean, yeah, it's the
Yeah.
way it works.
Like, you just expect these things to happen. So I've lost Pre-Vizsla and a droid, and my droids do nothing, because that actually is the theme of this game, is my Vulture droids shooting does so little. They just exist to annoy.
Yeah.
So, at the end of that round, I ping myself up to 12, and my opponent is on 16.
Which is interesting, because that's from what, 9-5 behind to 12-16 ahead in one round.
This is what happens when I lose that big ship. I don't mind losing the vultures, but if Pre-Vizsla goes down, it's very hard for me to catch up. Grievous has to do a lot of work, but because I didn't stress Grievous, I think I got a relatively free turn into kill Manaru this turn. Relatively free.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong, not completely free, but it's relatively free.
And I think that's your win condition, isn't it? Maybe no. See, Gamut's only 3, so kill Manaru. That's 4. That put you up to 16. Plus objectives, currently 19. But if you can ping, and obviously the droid is range 1.
We know the droid is range 1. Fun fact: Notorious triggered in one round this game. It was last round. My 2 Vulture droids shot at Paylob, did nothing, but they got strains for their troubles. And strains don't get removed when you stay stationary on a rock.
That's true.
So I'm in a little bit of a quandary.
Maybe you just 2 straight the blue then.
Yeah. So what I do is very simple. I actually catch my opponent off guard here. We'll fast forward quickly. So blue droid does a 2 straight off the rock and pings the objective.
Yeah.
And green droid rotates 90 degrees and just says, if someone's going to shoot me, they have to go out of their way to do it. And then he's lining up so that when he 2 straights off the next turn, he can grab the far left objective.
Yep.
Or at least I like to think the 2 straight would get that far.
My first.
Either way, my opponent wins.
Turn.
My opponent wins priority. It no longer matters. So easy peasy. Vulture droid. Oh no! So I do this the other way around. So the Vulture droid rotates on the rock 90 degrees to point towards the left of the board, and pings the objective. Doesn't get it. My other droid does a 2 straight off the rock and grabs the center objective. No need to roll because I removed it previously. Manaru just banks. There's a bank to the right, just going into the corner of the board, trying to stay away from everyone dangerous. Paylob does a 1 bank, so he's now flanking my far right Vulture droid, and he scrambles the sensors, doesn't get it, so he just removes my token. There's lots of rolling on this center objective, and it's actually kind of interesting. So then Gamut Key does like a 3 straight, clears the stress, and what does he do? He takes a focus and rotates to look at where Grievous and my droid is. Grievous then does a 2 hard, boost into a focus, gunning for Manaru. And the Mando somehow bloody fits in between Grievous and Paylob. Well, okay.
I'm a little amazed by that.
I think he bumped into Gamut, I think. Well, yeah, he rolls and does a damage to the Mando, but it's a damage that doesn't really matter. All of a sudden, I have a Vulture droid staring at a bunch of scum ships, so I'm in my head. My opponent has 18 points.
Yeah.
There's a calculateless. There's a Vulture droid with no calculate at range 1 of 3 enemy ships. That Vulture droid is dead.
So 18 points and 1 objective. So that's not going to net him the win this round.
Yeah, he's on 19. My Vulture droid takes 2 damage to the Mando. Grievous kills Manaru. And just 3 dice out of hand. Outmaneuver says that a 1 health Manaru cannot live. So then we go over to Paylob, who rolls range 1 into my Vulture droid and kills him. And Gamut rolls range 1 into the Vulture droid, kills the guy who came off the rock last turn. Then Paylob shoots my last Vulture droid on the rock, rolls 2 hits. I roll 2 focuses, so I take 2 damage. And then the ultimate hero, my Vulture Droid, rolls 1 dice into the Mando, and the Mando rolls 2 evades. So all I have is Grievous and a Vulture Droid. My opponent has Paylob, Gamut Key, the Mando, and we're both on 19 points.
But crucially, you're 3-2, 3-1 currently for the next round up on objectives.
For the next round, I'm currently gaining 3 points for objectives, and my opponent is gaining 1, and the center objective is unclaimed. And so this, if anyone can see the timestamp on the video that I'm recording, there are 20. This is the last round of the game. There's about 20 minutes left, because we both sort of like go into the tank for this one, because this is like the turn.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's impossible for the game not to end on this turn.
Yeah, pretty much.
So your opponent's win condition, like your win condition, is just not lose a ship and have more objectives.
Yeah. So here's where it basically broke down, because remember that Cononet I dropped. Yeah. Grievous is staring at it.
I mean, honestly, do you not just yeet Grievous out the way?
So here's the thing. So here's what's going through my head. Is I think the way I see it is two of the objectives I have, my opponent cannot get. Because I have my home objective and I have the one closest to my opponent's board. Yeah. The center one is unclaimed. And the far left one is claimed by my opponent. I don't know, but I think, because Paylob is pointed towards the far right objective. And so my thought was, if Paylob does like a 4 straight or something, can he get that far right objective?
Yeah.
And then Gamut can do a 1 straight, claim the center objective. And then I don't know what the Mando can do, but he has a front arc and a back arc. And all my opponent needs to do is plink 1 damage through on a Vulture Droid. And if we're 2-2, the game is over. And I talked to my opponent after this, and he was doing what I was thinking, but he also said he couldn't see a way to here's the thing, keep Gamut alive, because Gamut's on 2 health, and Grievous can 2 hard towards him.
Yeah.
And so if Gamut scrambles the center objective, then Grievous has outmaneuver on Gamut, and that's likely a dead Gamut key. Because he was saying he was going to move Gamut, boost Paylob, and then Paylob can go and grab the far right objective.
Yeah.
But that meant that Grievous likely kills Gamut Key, and I still win. So I'll play it out, because it's interesting. So, and I do a lot of thinking about, I do a lot of regrets on that bloody Cononet, because that means Grievous...
Before you go, if this had been me in your situation, I would have rotated green down towards where the enemy ships are, because I don't think where he is at the moment a 2 straight is it either you don't get range on the objective claimed by your opponent, or it bumps Grievous. So I'd rotate, claim the center objective because it's unclaimed. Now you're 4-1 up. So it's not an auto claim if your opponent decides to do it. And then I would probably have just like 5 straighted Grievous.
Interesting.
And try and get him out of dodge, because that way your opponent either has to, let's be honest, even if he turns in on Grievous, the likelihood is Grievous doesn't die because he's got rerolls from Soulless One. And he can only realistically get Gamut facing him. You might lose the droid, but the likelihood is if he's concentrated on killing your droid, you're still more than 2 up on the objectives.
Yes, that's true. Because here's the thing I was thinking, was that I wasn't sure what the Mando could do, because the Mando is unstressed right now. So I know he can like Talon or whatever, right?
They do have a 2 Talon, yeah.
Yeah. And I was looking at that thinking, I think Paylob is going to declaim the far right objective.
Yeah.
And so with that in mind, and I would only be getting at max 2 because I don't see that the center objective stays mine with the Vulture Droid, and I didn't see the Vulture Droid living.
But the way I look at it that way
Yeah.
is if the only one he can realistically go for the center is with Gamut. If he is sending Paylob off to claim the, which I think is a reasonable claim, which means the only shot that droid is taking is from
Mando.
And also the fact of you claiming it would mean that there is a chance he rolls a blank.
Because what I wanted to do with Grievous was 2 straight claim the far left objective.
Yeah. But you'll hit the Coronet with that.
But I'll hit the Coronet and not able to do it.
Yeah.
And I didn't. And Grievous is currently stressed, which is also a bit of an annoyance for me because I just needed to kill Manaru. So, and I looked at this a lot, and I don't think a 2-bank clears the Coronet.
2-bank to the left.
A 2-bank to Grievous's left, so towards the center of the board.
Yeah.
I didn't think that cleared the Coronet, and I wasn't sure where a right would take me.
I think you might clear. No, I think the right takes you too close to the rock.
Yeah.
And if not the rock, then you hit the Coronet. And I think left, you'd hit the Coronet.
Yeah, and to preface what I do with the Vulture Droid, I thought that my opponent would think that Vulture Droid would stay there.
So 5 straight?
So I moved it 2 straight. Because that's the only way off the rock.
Yeah, you can't 5 straight, yeah.
With the plan being 2 straight, declare scramble, and see what objective I get. Because you declare scramble, then measure range 1, and you can see what's in range. After I move, I realised that attempting to get that leftmost objective at 2 straight is a far-fetched dream, and I shouldn't have ever actually tried it. But yeah, we spent a lot of time in the tank. My opponent takes a lot of time in the stand because this is the turn. This is the make it or break it. I've got a 1 health Vulture Droid that's scoring him 2 points, and he has to somehow stop me from getting enough points off the objectives. But he also has to keep in mind that Gamut Key is killable by Grievous, even if Grievous is stressed. So Gamut Key is going to want to rotate that turret to point wherever he thinks Grievous is going to show up. So yeah, and he looks at Grievous as like, yeah, there's no way I'm killing Grievous.
No, but you just want the arc there to stop the outmaneuver.
Yeah, because he's like, do I turn on Grievous? No, I can't turn on Grievous. So I'll keep fast forwarding till we get to it, because Gamut Key's got 2 health, but he's also got a fuel leak. So if I randomly roll a crit, he just dies.
Yeah,
which is the scary bit. So
how often do you see a fuel leak that's not the last but 1 damage?
I know, right? Final roll for priority. I rolled triple blank. So not a good start.
Get them out of the way.
But again, priority doesn't matter. So the Vulture Droid does a 2 straight, and then we go and check up the rules, because I asked, do I have to declare what sensor I'm scrambling before I scramble the sensors? And we didn't know, so we looked up, and you basically pick A1 at range 0 to 1 when you declare it. So I checked range 1 after we checked the rules, and I do scramble the center objective. That is now mine. It is 4 to 1, and my opponent has to spend an action clearing it. Paylob does I believe that is like too hard to get him to where he is.
Yeah.
He has a giant stack of strains because of all the tokens he lost.
Is that a 2 hard
at the end of last round? Or is it a 1 hard?
I say it almost looks like a 1 hard to me.
Okay, a hard turn of some sort.
Yeah.
And he takes a target lock onto my Vulture Droid.
Okay.
Then Gamut does a 2 straight, clears the stress, and then takes a focus and rotates his turret to his right, hoping to catch Grievous in it.
Okay.
Grievous does a 2 hard towards Gamut.
Oh, I wonder if that's still in by millimeters. Surely you just
it is. It is. I'm stressed.
Oh, of course you are.
Yeah, and this is why I was like, I really wish I could have done that 2 bank, but I just didn't. I just didn't trust that it wouldn't clip the Coronet.
Yeah.
And there I am. And then the Mando does a 1 straight, claims the center objective, and gets it for himself. So right now, as things are, no shooting. I have 3 objectives. My opponent has 2.
So the only way he wins is he doesn't lose Gamut and he kills your droid.
Yes. We check the back arc. And I'm out of range 1. No hotshot tail blaster into the Vulture Droid.
Yeah, I'm not surprised by that.
So shoots Grievous, rolls hit crit, I just take it. Grievous, range 1 into Gamut Key. I have no mods. I am in the arc. He has a focus. I roll 3 crits out of hand. Which means I've killed him.
Yeah.
And I've won.
That's
because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what he rolls because one crit will get through and proc the fuel leak. He even rolls evade focus, spends the focus for 2 evades, and takes a crit, and that's it. Gamut Key is dead.
Ooh, Sam, nasty.
I go up to 20. I get up to 22 points, and we know I've won. He takes the shot with Paylob into the droid. The droid dies. He rolls hit crit out of hand, and I roll nothing. And he goes to 23. I go to 25.
High scoring game then.
Yeah, and so the rest of this video is us seeing what moves would have looked like because we both thought that turn was super interesting. And boy, was that a really good game. That was like a nail-biting finish.
Yeah, it looked interesting.
Because like that last turn basically just went all my way. Because if I don't roll if I don't roll like exactly 3 results and one of them is a crit, Gamut Key lives.
Yeah.
Like it's just yeah. It was all levels of insane. And it was an amazing game. My opponent was a really nice guy. Interestingly enough, we were talking later, the Coronet that forced General Grievous to turn in, we actually think might have caused me to win the game. Because I said, if that Coronet wasn't there, Grievous probably 2 straights and claims the objective. And my opponent said, yeah, I figured, and if I thought you were going to do that, I wouldn't have ran off with Gamut. He would have made Paylob go and grab the far objective and just lined up as many shots as he could on the Vulture Droid.
Yeah.
But because Grievous couldn't go that way, he had to contend for the fact that Grievous was going to come in and get a kill. Yeah. So I think it's interesting that like I was lamenting the fact that I dropped the Coronet, but it probably helped me win.
So after watching your first 2 games on the Kyber, you need to work on your Coronet dropping timing.
Yes.
but somehow it always seems to work out.
In my defense, I was dead certain that Vizsla was going to die the round I dropped it. Is that a reason to drop it? Probably not, but I just wanted to.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
And now I think we need to talk about Lulo.
Yeah, okay. So just a quick chat. I attended a Store Championship event at Kirton Games up in Crediton the weekend. Just 12 of us up there from around the southwest. Quite a good day. I took a Republic list I've been flying. It's basically the Adepticon one. And yeah, it was a really interesting game. I went 3-1 for the day and finished 3rd, so I'm quite happy with that. I finally won myself the Beskar token, which I've been aiming for quite a while now. But what I found really interesting was the final table. So there were a lot of different styles of lists up there. Quite a few gauntlets, lots of large numbers of ships. I played against, in fact, the one I lost against was John Robertson. He was flying Zyrtec Storm in the TIE Advance, 2 Storm Squadron Aces in the TIE Advance, Duchess, and 3 TIE Fighters, 1 Night Beast, and 2 Obsidian Squadron Pilots. 7 ships. There were a lot of 6 ships. But the final table was Matt Coggins versus Mark Packer Hughes, both flying Resistance, and both flying 3 ships.
What 3 ships?
So this is where it's interesting. So Matt was flying Rey, Poe, and Lulo, and and his list is called "We Need to Talk About Lulo," and I promised him I'd mention it and give him a shout out. So. Job done. And Mark was flying Rey, Poe, and Temem. So, not one chip's difference, basically. I I believe their rays were identical in loadout. I think there's some slight differences in the Poe, but yeah, just to see three ships, three ship lists can do well. Okay, admittedly, it's it's the small Southwest meta, but it was an interesting tweak, and yeah, just thought I'd bring that up and say congratulations. Matt went 4-0 on the day, so
Nice.
kudos to him, and I believe Mark went. I want to say 3-1 actually. Just let me bring up the ladder. I'll stop looking at sorry, not 3-1. Mark went 2 wins, 1 draw, and 1 loss. Because I believe that for the final round, Mark was 2 wins and 1 draw. Matt was 3-0, and then the other people were 2-1. Which is unfortunately why John and myself jumped above Mark in the end in the ladder, because draws can hurt like that.
Yeah,
but no, it was a good day and a great shout, and yeah, clearly Lulo is better than Snap, so I guess we need to talk about Lulo.
Yeah, well, it's confirmed, right?
Yeah,
one game. Easy peasy.
Guess what? I'll be flying next. That's right. It's Scum.
Yeah,
it's Scum.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
But yeah, no, just wanted to do a shout out there because it was a good game. Thanks to all my opponents that I played, John, Ian, Christian, and Lewis, and yeah, good day all round. And yeah, on that note, I think we'd better wrap it up for this week.
Yeah. Oh God, I'm playing my next Kyber game tomorrow. It's against the scary list. I'm 2-0, Sean. What's going on?
I know.
I'm the only separatist player. 2-0.
You need to do well because the podcast people on Kyber don't believe in you. Your vultures are a liability.
They are a liability. Look at them this game.
All right. I'll believe in you enough for the both of us, Sam. It's fine.
Okay.
Guarantee next week we're talking about Sam's loss.
Almost certainly. I'm against the. I feel like I've dodged the Republic so far, and now is my comeuppance.
Fair enough. Well, on Sam's dread of the Jedi, we will wrap it up. So thanks everyone for watching and listening.
Jedi was stupid force.
We'll see you guys next week.
Ta-ta.